Whip out some troll bogies and rub them all over your body. It's time for YAFCast, where we watch crap so you don't have to. I'm John, and joining me in the hunt for giant fraggles who can smell the blood of a Christian man is...
Yav.
And Andy.
And this week's film is Troll Hunter, and I'll admit to worrying that this film might have been a bit too good for what we hoped for. Luckily, I was proven completely wrong. Here's the trailer.
In this mythical land, there are epic tales told of ancient hunters and their legendary prey. But these are just stories. The reality is no fairy tale. Troll Hunter.
Oh, the trailer is so much better than the film.
Yeah,
Wow.
it sounds epic in that trailer.
I
It
just
looks
keep
epic in that trailer.
thinking that guy's voice, whether it gives off bigger seismic readings than the 200-foot tall troll. It's just...
That may be how they recorded Footsteps. They just got him going boom, boom. So, slight disclaimer on this. My viewing experience will differ slightly from that of my co-host because I had to watch it in the English overdub. As opposed
How
to-
can you do that?
Well, the thing is, the Netflix version of the film only had Norwegian audio with English subtitles, which would have been fine if I were watching the film by myself, but I had to clip audio for this podcast, and Norwegian audio clips would have meant nothing to an English.
We would have got one
speaker
clip of those
audience.
Polish guys, which we...
Yes, that would have been the actually
the only
two
clip.
clips
It's a
of
pretty
the
good
Polish
clip.
guys. There's actually
yeah.
2 clips of the Polish guys, but yes, most of the film would have been unclippable because it's all in Norwegian. So I sought out an English-speaking alternative.
So
And,
how-
Oh, wow.
That's probably tainted my viewing experience because the voice acting of the English dub over, American English dub over, was diabolical.
You said it differed from subs as well, didn't you?
Yes, I had
That's-
the English subtitles up at the same time as the English audio, and the dialogue was nothing like at one point. It was the example I wrote down was the English voice said "Leave me alone" and the subtitle said "Get lost." But that was a mild example. Most of the time, the entire sentence was completely different to what was being said on screen.
I've had that with other films, like constantly while doing dubs, so I just never touch them. And I've watched enough sub stuff that I really don't mind, reading the screen because I can read quick enough. I don't know. I think Yama was complaining about it.
Subtitles, but I needed to clip something that we could use on the podcast.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
thoughts on subbed stuff?
No, I don't really like it. I find it takes my eyes away from what's going on in the film. But Troll Hunter sort of the subtitles were very short. There wasn't really very much to it.
There wasn't a lot of dialogue, she's saying.
Yeah, but I know Norwegians
What
are
was
quite
there is
quiet people
questionable.
usually.
Sorry, Biggie?
I was going to say, you said there wasn't that much dialogue, and I said what was there is questionable.
Hmm. But one advantage we will have over you is we now know Norwegian. And we'll be able to speak to Carl in its native language with all the Norwegian we picked up.
But what if the accurate translation is what got turned into the English dub, and the sketchy translation is what got turned
into
subtitles?
subtitles.
In which case,
It could be
very
true,
true.
but the slight
No,
bit of
like,
Norwegian I
false
did know
Norwegian.
before, the single word,
I
was
know
correct.
the Norwegian word for troll.
Go ahead, give it to us.
Troll.
Wow, your knowledge is vast.
So this is another film in a long line of films that pretends to be actual footage of something.
Mockumentary.
So, like,
Yeah.
Mockumentary is usually a joke. There's nothing.
Oh, it's a...
Yeah. I suppose there was a few bits, but
It's a
it was meant
mock
to be it was taking
documentary,
itself
yes.
very seriously. But yeah, so things like Blair Witch and Cloverfield, like things where it's meant to be actual footage of something, like Paranormal Activity, it's meant to be actual footage of some film students who, for some reason, are stalking the weird bearded guy who's got a shotgun.
Well, because, shot bears are dead bears, because of all those guys who are bear hunters who knew every single bear hunter in the whole of Norway, which is a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But does that mean they can legally kill bears in Norway? That's a bit sad.
Well, it said it's government regulated, so it'd be like in parts of America that have like. So
I guess
many
the
that are
strays
allowed to
that
be
come
killed.
into the towns or something.
So it keeps the population from getting too big, but stops it from getting wiped out, sort of thing. So I'm guessing that's what they meant with the Norway thing. But still, these little weedy film students. I mean, like there's the one guy who was scared, the cameraman who was scared of everything. The main guy who was built like
Because he was Christian.
and
Sorry.
the girl. Oh, big dog! Spoilers. And then the girl who I don't know what it came across like in Norwegian, but in the English dub, she was the most annoying, irritating, like whiny, woman ever.
She wasn't so whiny, but she was still annoying as a character.
Yeah. Well, these three people decide to try and stalk down this hunter guy who like drives around in a smelly caravan, carries a shotgun, and goes off in the middle of the night with loads of equipment, and then comes back in the morning.
I think the fault at the start of the film for me was the first 10 or 20 minutes before you get into see any kind of troll or know what it is. You already know what's coming because of the title.
First 10 or 20 minutes before you get into any actual visual, and it's all just writing on the screen.
No, it's not.
It felt like that to me.
But yeah, it might have been nice if the kind of air of not knowing what's going on for them was, what am I trying to say? We had it as well, but since we know the title, we know it's Troll Hunter, we know he's going to be a troll hunter.
Yeah. It's a shame that they called it Troll Hunter and then tried to pretend it was...
But if you didn't call it Troll Hunter, if they... Mysterious Hunter, I don't know, and you don't show any pictures of a troll in the trailer, it just doesn't work, so it's a bit of a shame it had to be like that, but
it was inevitable.
That's one thing, the front cover of this film, like the sort of the artwork for the film and the title, all looks like something that could be really, really good. I mean, who knows? I mean, we've got in the trivia section that it's already been bought up for an American remake, so maybe we'll get a huge, big budget, better version. Who knows? It might be just that. I can't help thinking that my experience has got the bad voiceover, and that's made it look worse than it is because the voice acting was so bad.
I thought it was alright as a film, but...
Well, there you go, that's why, because the voice acting was so bad, I think maybe my experience is a bit tainted.
I thought it was alright, I thought it was a bit slow though. I sort of felt it went on for a bit.
Voice acting aside, there was plenty to pick on visually. Like, for example, and this happens in all these films, and I suppose there's like a mechanical reason for it, like an exposition reason for it. But despite the fact that it's meant to be them filming something, and this is meant to be actual footage, they seem to spend a lot of time filming each other. Like, there's a lot of shots of them working the machine, like playing with their equipment, cleaning the microphones, and listening.
Well, they've just given you everything they recorded, weren't they? Or so they were presenting it.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, why was he sat with the camera on his knee, pointing at the driver when they're not actually doing anything? Or
on the off chance he gets some sounds, I think, maybe.
Yeah,
because they were searching for information for a long time.
Or filming whiny girl, checking her headphones.
Have you got any clips of her? Because I didn't think she was that whiny.
Can't remember, but it just seems like it'd be a waste of film to like film each other cleaning the equipment or something when you're in the middle of nowhere filming some guy chasing trolls down. But anyway, maybe that's just my gripe.
Also, one thing I did get a bit annoyed when the camera broke at one point later in the film, the fact that it was going around filmed with this shattered lens for so long, was that needed? Is that too realistic to the point of annoying?
That was that long, but it did make me laugh that the replacement camera was like a big, massive, like freaking proper movie studio camera.
Oh yeah, someone who'd worked for the BBC.
Yeah.
I think
Muslim.
if the camera wasn't broken for so long, we probably would have moaned about it. So I think either way we would have moaned about it.
Well, we're kind of jumping ahead, but I do actually have it written down there. It seemed like a surprisingly short amount of time between what happening with the camera and what happened after. And there's some English for you. And what happening after.
And what happening after? The Polish guys are worse. Hopefully.
I'll get to that later, though.
But I think in the film they're just showing you like what they recorded, aren't they? So you have these blank gaps it could have been weeks or something.
It's nitpicking.
Yeah.
What's not nitpicking is the fact that they are the worst people ever at tailing a car. How he didn't know that they were following him. I mean, like, they were following him. like maybe 100 yards behind on dark, deserted roads with their headlights on.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
It was, too obvious. I just wanted him to come up to them and just headbutt each of them. That would have been the film over.
Yeah, that would have made an interesting scene.
Considering he obviously valued his privacy, you would have thought he would have done something about it.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice. Right. So they're on the tail him everywhere or whatever. He tells them how many times to sod off, and then they corner him on the boat, don't they? They follow him onto the ferry. They're on the ferry they get the camera person to hide round the corner.
That was just.
And then they get the little skinny guy, goes up, talks to him, and he says, "Hi, we met before. He goes, are you following me?" And he goes, "No. We want to ask you some questions." What? How does that work? No, we're not following you, but we want to ask you some questions. So that's like he's giving him the answer before he's even had chance.
Did he say no in your version?
Yes.
Because he didn't answer that question. He just, kind of, we want to answer you some questions.
Oh, no, sorry, that part he didn't say no. No, he said no like 5 times before when they wanted to ask him questions. But on that part, he just looked at him and said, "Are you following me?" And then he looked over at his camera friends, who obviously weren't that well hidden because he looked straight at the camera. That whole scene seemed just a bit pointless.
Yeah, I agree. Could have cut a few minutes out of the film for that.
Yeah, which was like, what, an hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah.
An hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, I did feel like it was quite long.
I don't think it was a long film. I think it was longer than it should have been, though. But as far as films go, it was quite short. This could have been done with like an hour TV series or something, an hour TV special. And I don't know how Norwegian TV works. Did you know
they have TV over there?
Do they?
Do they? That's a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's ask Carl.
Yeah, we'll have to get Karen and ask him. Did you notice the no trespassing blasting area bit? There's like a sign on the gate that says no trespassing blasting area. And
well, they had to put it back up, didn't they?
Did they put it back up? Because all I remember seeing is like the next scene, or the next cut, is just a guy throwing the sign away.
He throws it away, but when they go back in, they have to. The guy tells them to put it back up.
But it's just like, you see, I mean, first off, you see that on a gate. You're going to have second thoughts about going through that gate if you've got any kind of survival instinct.
They had no second thoughts about anything. They were just so ballsy. Didn't they mention Michael Moore or something, and they were like idolising him at some point?
Oh, yeah. Do you think he would have turned back or something? Yeah, I remember that line. But it's just like, not only do you go through this gate, but you have to throw the sign away. Why do you have to throw the sign away? Just because you've got a death wish doesn't mean that nobody else should be warned.
But they were constantly. They were college students or whatever I guess it's uni or something.
The word is morons.
But they were very childish quite a lot of the time. I guess that was what they wanted to show them as, but it was just. Yeah. I'd rather have had a better crew, honestly.
So going back to what Yama said about the guy and his privacy and then what we've been saying about he'd been telling them to go away all the way through the film at this point. After they have their first encounter with the troll, which for a good 15 minutes of the film, I thought this story had trolls flashing until they explained about his little gun thing that flashes. But I thought the trolls flashed.
Yeah, I did at first.
What?
I thought, wow, that's a really strange idea.
I actually wrote it down in my notes, but trolls flash apparently, and then I forgot to delete it. But yeah, after they have the first experience with the troll, and the guy comes running away, and then the troll comes after them and all that. He gave in so easy to being filmed. After all that...
Yeah, I always... Yeah.
Okay, you can film me.
Fine. Suddenly, after being stalked, he's just like, kids driving me crazy, just okay.
And we'll get it when we get later on in the notes and everything, but that happens quite a lot in this film. People who are like adamant about something just give in really easily.
Yeah.
But what I was impressed with was the quality of the camera for some students. How did they get their hands on that?
Also, do you notice in these films, and when I say these films, I mean like the ones where it's meant to be actual footage or whatever, whenever they're running away from someone or something or the monster, because there's usually...
They never drop their camera.
Well, it's not so much that they never drop the camera, I mean there's that too, but I just mean before that, they're always running in a way that gets you can make out what's happening. I mean, think about it, if you're running with a camera in one hand, that camera is going to be moving backwards and forwards so fast you're not going to be able to make out a thing, it's just going to be like a constant blur. So they're always running in a way that holds the camera steady-ish because you can make stuff out. And
don't they have one of those expensive steady camera thingies? I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't think they work if you're swinging the camera backwards and forwards as you're running as fast as you can. And then on top of that, they always manage to get a shot somehow of the thing that's chasing them at some point. You know, like quite a clear shot, even if it's only for half a second. Like the
I mean,
last thing, I've actually got it written down. Cameramen in films always manage to get footage of the thing chasing them. If I were at the back of the pack, I'd be throwing that fucking camera to the wall and running as fast as I could.
No, even if I wasn't at the back, I would have just thrown it around. The chances of him stamping on the camera, he's not going to go. Well, actually, they might go for it. They're into charcoal and concrete and stuff, aren't they? And tyres.
Fucking kiddie trolls.
Tyres.
That was
That
great.
was really strange.
Just, we can.
One tyre.
That one tyre is our check for if they've crossed the border or not.
They have a massive hill mountainside or whatever, and they have one tyre buried in the side of it. And if
they're going to travel miles for this tyre,
they would have nibbled this tyre on the way past.
Yeah. Why would they like tyres? And like the trap as well. The trap had concrete and coal or something. Yeah. Why? Why would they like concrete? That was another one
of the funny subtitle dub-over moments, because I can't remember which way around it was, but one of them said it's a deadly combination, and the other one said it's an unbeatable combination.
We had unbeatable.
Different things.
Yeah. I think it said unbeatable.
Right, so the subtitle said unbeatable, and the voiceover said a deadly combination.
That is totally.
It means totally different things, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You have to get Cara in on this and see what he thinks of the subtitles at some point.
See, my partner's cousin's Norwegian, and he really enjoyed the film. So that's quite an interesting insight.
The dialogue was probably a lot better for the native speakers of that language. Like, I think I wouldn't be surprised if what I was getting was like the audio version. I wouldn't be surprised if what I was getting was it being translated into Spanish and then translated from Spanish to English.
Yeah, quite possibly.
So we learnt around this point in the film that you have to rub troll bogies all over your body if you're going to go hunting trolls.
And then they had their childish fit about it and acting their age and stuff and not listening to, you have to follow everything we say kind of thing.
Yeah, the one rule that he had.
The one rule that was always going to come back up.
After he vehemently denied them access to filming him, when he finally gave in, like a pussy whip person. Like, his one rule was that they do whatever he says, and then the first time he asked them to do something, they don't do it.
Oh, no, there was one thing before that. The big question. Should we cover it?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Are you Christian?
Or do you believe in Jesus?
Christian.
Yeah, but it said, do you believe in Jesus?
By the
and
way,
they all said no.
Catch that the name of that first troll with the 3 heads was Tossalad.
Tossalad.
They had a lot of
spelt
tosser stuff
without a space. Maybe it's a common
troll
word or part of word in Norwegian.
Yeah, maybe.
Again,
I don't know enough Norwegian.
Car. Where's Car when you need him?
So,
I did like the whole thing about the multi-heads, though. That they're not actual real heads.
They're not real heads. Yeah.
They're just for scaring off and impressing females. That was really cute.
Exactly, yeah. I was just thinking to basically the extra heads of peacock feathers.
Yeah. But yeah, it does make it look a lot scarier.
But on that subject of the guy giving in easy and that being a theme in this thing, that happens again with what's his face? Is it Finn?
Yeah.
I think his name was
from the TSS.
Yes, the the guy who's troll hunters. Is it Han? Troll hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Han.
Yeah.
His boss. He turns up and he's like, "Are they filming? You can't film it." And like, you didn't.
He just doesn't do anything about it. He's just like
it sounds like I can't do voice acting, but really this is an accurate portrayal of the overdubbing. But he's like, "Are you filming? You can't film here. Put that camera down. Turn that camera off." And then eventually he just lets whatever's going to happen with them still filming, and then makes some sort of half-assed comment as he's leaving saying, "You think you're keeping that footage? You're wrong."
I felt that really odd. Like he just like, you're not keeping that footage, and as he walks off, it just doesn't make sense. Normally you'd expect a scene of them fighting over the camera and like stamping on it or something, but it's just they all kind of, in Norway, seem to give up to pathetic kids. So we learned that.
Important roles.
Government, yeah.
I must admit, it seems like the TSS is quite unprofessional. It seems like it's just a 2-man band, really.
You mean all 2 of them and then the Polish subcontractors?
Yeah.
And then the guy who says something at the end.
You wouldn't believe they'd employ those 2 to look after every single troll in Norway.
No. How big is Norway?
Very big. Bigger than us, isn't it?
Bigger than us with lesser population.
Everywhere's bigger than us. Well, that's what I was thinking.
They have a lot of free lands, especially in the cold areas.
Large, but mostly wilderness sort of thing.
Norway is 385,000 kilometres squared.
Wow.
It's nothing to me. You could have told me Britain was 20 kilometres squared and I believe you.
It's got a population of 5 million people.
And we're about 10 times that.
How
Yeah,
many of
I
those
think
are
that's less than London. I
50%
don't know
of
how
it's
many.
trolls, so you got 2.5
What's
million
the troll
trolls.
population?
I'll talk about troll population. He did ask that question, and he didn't answer, but did he answer with, like, they only have one kid each?
I don't remember that. I remember
Yeah.
him showing a map where there was meant to be a pin for every troll or something, and there wasn't that many pins.
There's
But they had
the trolls live for 1,000 to
1,000 years.
1,200 years, and they only have one kid, and that's when they're 15 years old.
gestation period is... gestation period is 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, so it basically means they're pregnant for...
Yeah.
Is gestation how long they're pregnant for, or how
Yeah.
long they can get pregnant?
Pregnant for, I think. That's my understanding of it, yeah.
We are as intelligent as the people who
As trolls, yeah.
Who bang their heads on bridges.
Or just walk through bridges, because...
Oops. Didn't see that bridge there.
But humans do that with cars.
Yeah.
Wait, the troll hunter guy, Han, decides that his job's a bit crappy and he thinks he wants to quit. Now, a normal person, would they not just hand in the notice rather than allowing a student film crew to follow them around filming?
To
them
kind of
knowing
get
that
back at your
they'll
boss who
not
doesn't
be
really
allowed
care
to?
about them filming.
Yeah, because it's kind of like the Norwegian troll equivalent of the X-Files FBI unit sort of thing. So obviously everything's top secret. So in order to quit his job, he lets this film crew follow him around after telling them they're not allowed to many times. He decides, oh, I'm going to let them follow me around because that will be a good way to get out of this job. Surely he could have just handed in his notice. Give me a week's notice, chase some trolls around, take it easy, go get a job behind a desk somewhere.
Well, maybe. Because, that the TSS obviously aren't very well run. Maybe you can't do that. Maybe they don't have a policy for handing your notice in.
Well, in that case, just get in his caravan and drive off. Yeah, Denmark's good this time of year. So we have a next encounter with the trolls is the one that has the nice reference to the Billy Goat story. The two goats on the bridge and then the troll underneath it.
Oh, yeah. That was so funny.
Yeah. The one thing that I thought that all I could think of in that scene was in all this horrific troll attacks and all this sort of thing. Where did he get that much Christian men's blood?
Yeah, that is quite scary.
A massive tub of Christian man blood.
That's a dark secret he's hiding.
And for a guy his age, he really gets up quite quickly after being attacked that hard by a troll.
Well, to be fair, he was wearing an
A
iron
tin
A tin
can,
can. Yeah. Definitely a tin can.
I mean, with the
Like
force... Sorry, Karen.
Does he look like one of the bad guys from a steampunk film?
Yeah. But if that troll would have crushed right through him and just made mincemeat of him, surely, by biting him like that. Or I guess he didn't really bite that hard because he knew it was metal and wasn't interested.
No, he was testing it like...
Thank God he wasn't
Yeah.
made of tyre.
Like an Olympian testing the gold of their medal.
Yeah, it's pure. No. Like you get the ones who reject it because they know the taste of gold.
This isn't made of charcoal or concrete, and throws it on the floor.
Or tyre.
Or tyre.
Yeah. So another person who didn't take much convincing is the forensic lady who examines the troll blood.
Yeah.
She's like, but we're really not allowed to do this, and he's like, it's okay, I take responsibility. And she's like, okay, so this is how trolls work.
I kind of like the way the the young ones explode and then the old ones just turn to rock, and the explanation of why they don't like sunlight. I thought that was alright.
There were a lot of parts of this film that I quite like. I liked the fact that after he'd turned a troll to stone, he then had to spend all night breaking it into pieces so that nobody knew that it was a troll.
Yeah.
So it just looked like a pile of rubble. I like stuff like that. There were a lot
And the
of good
cover-ups,
things in this film.
the bear things.
I think the execution
Those kids.
was just a bit. Which kids?
Those kids. The film crew.
Oh yeah, the filming kids.
I
yeah,
think
sorry, yeah.
maybe it's the way the film was done as well, the whole mockumentary
That's
stylish.
what I think, and I mean, I'm
Could have been a normal.
to say this because it sounds like it's a slight against against the Norwegian film industry, but I really think that this could be a really good film if it was done better.
As long as you don't have bad American actors instead of bad American voice actors.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm sure it can be done just as terrible in any country.
More than likely.
I'm thinking maybe it was a budget thing, but it seemed like there were quite some good, the special effects were good.
Yeah, the trolls look good.
The trolls. I mean, like, if
Maybe it's cheaper now. I don't know.
Legend, like, have you seen the Will Smith I Am Legend film?
I've seen it, but I can't remember. You'd have to trigger a scene in my brain.
Well, anyway, if you ever watch the Will Smith I Am Legend film, the trolls in this film look 100 times more realistic than the vampire zombie things in the I Am Legend film.
But then it's a few years later, isn't it? Or maybe it's easier to do because it was dark.
It's a few
I'm not
years
sure.
later, but I Am Legend is like a massive blockbuster Will Smith film, and this is like a Norwegian language film.
I think its budget was 4 or 5 million. I can't remember. I did look it up.
4 or 5 million?
Yeah.
They probably paid Will Smith 5 times that just to be in the film.
Crazy.
So when they go for the what do you call it, the
Ujima
trolls
flop.
in the cave, the Gujima flops, the trolls in the cave. When they're on the way to the trolls in the cave, and like camera guy who has been a bit nervous all the way through usually ends up at the back of the crowd when they're running away from something. He's like, I don't like this. I don't want to go on. We shouldn't go on or whatever. And like the other guy's like, come on or whatever, and they're trying to convince him to go. I swear to God, if I was the cameraman, whether I had a reason or I was just chicken, I'd be like, no, seriously, fuck
I
you
wouldn't
guys.
go in
I'm
there.
going that way.
Get some sense.
Never mind
you should
the
have
fact-
dropped the camera earlier. Just don't go in that cave.
I mean, never mind the fact that he was harbouring a genuine reason to be afraid. Even if I was just a coward, I'd still be like, you know what? I don't buy into this peer pressure shit. You two go on. Here's the camera. I'm off down to the bar.
They're probably too young to drink in Norway.
Well, yeah,
What's the legal age in Norway?
probably too young to drink in Britain. We start at 13. The best bit is like in this scene, the bit that made me laugh the most. was, Hunter guy. I've got him written down as Hunter all the way, dude, because I only realised what his name was towards the end of the film. But Hans, the Hunter guy, he's.
I love the way he's just sleeping there.
He stood outside the cave and is insisting that there are no trolls in the cave. He's like, no, nobody's here. And they go into the cave. He finally gets them to go into the cave. And they go into the cave and he gets like, I don't know, 100 yards in and then gets out like a horn and blows.
They're testing this.
Noise. And then he goes, no one's home. You just said there was nobody there before we went in the cave.
Not very trustworthy,
that's
is
like
he?
saying it's fine, the fire's off, and then walking up to the fire and putting your hand in it. Yeah, it's off.
Just checking.
But yeah, that's not very reassuring.
No.
I was quite reassured when they did get in the cave and the trolls came back in. That, you know, the way he was just kind of sitting there, kind of sleeping, while the stupid cameramans have a panic attack in the corner.
I see. That's the part where I started dozing off a little bit and had to try and wake myself up. That's that bit.
Might have helped you stay awake. Have you ever seen? You're the youngest of us, Yama, so I don't know if you'll have done. Have you ever seen Fraggle Rock?
No.
Right. Okay. When you get time, look up Fraggle Rock on the internet, and then go back and look at those trolls.
Right. Okay.
Those trolls look just like something out of a Tim Henson program called Fraggle Rock.
Right. Okay then. I'll
I've
make
seen
sure I
them
have a
before
look.
somewhere.
They really do. They look like they could be out of Fraggle Rock. They weren't. I just couldn't help laughing when I saw them because it was that everything from the way they looked to the way they moved. You know, because like obviously the Tim Henson things are puppets, so they've got like the big floppy sort of like all over the place heads.
Yeah.
And them trolls were moving in the exact same way with the big shaggy like sort of hair and the big nose and everything.
I just love the differences in all the trolls, but.
Well, yeah, that was. I do quite like the trolls and everything, but it just made me laugh that those ones look like Fraggles. Did you notice that this is another one where it's like somebody determined not to do something and then does it? Hans tells Finn, his boss, you know, the other guy in this frigging industry, in the TSS or whatever, that he refuses to go up into troll territory. And then they have a bit of a scuffle where he tries to get the camera off him, and then he says, "I'm going up there to see what's up."
And go straight back up. But you know he got that phone call towards the end, and you know, obviously at the end when he walks off into the distance, you know what he's going to do, don't you? Which is quite sad. Yes, he's going to break dance.
He's going to get rabies and die.
Oh yeah, into the rabies, and that's why the trolls are coming down, because they've all got rabies. That's quite sad, really.
Yeah.
I couldn't actually, while watching this film, I couldn't help but feel sorry for the trolls.
Yeah, because they were
Like,
just being killed all the time, weren't they?
Just kind of humanity killing again, and stop it. Leave the poor little baby trolls alone.
I think they've earned their place on this earth for longer than we have.
Yeah, well, most of them have been around longer than us.
Exactly.
But he
And
was
we
feeling
always
some.
think we know better, don't we?
But he was feeling some kind of remorse for, slaughtering all those in the other section, which is what he did. He was ordered to kill them all because they wanted to build a tunnel in a certain area in troll territory.
Yeah. Poor little trolls.
Maybe if they build fewer tunnels and bridges around troll territory, they'd end up with less trolls walking into bridges.
Just put more tyres around the territory, it'll be fine.
This is the bit that I alluded to earlier on in the podcast, like what's his Christian guy? Sorry, I don't know if we made this clear, but the camera guy turns out to be Christian. So and by the way, did you notice the trolls were perfectly happy to sleep until he said he was Christian, and then they woke up?
It's because he was sweating, wasn't it?
It's sweating.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, like sweating off the.
He said don't sweat
Christian
too
sweat
much.
is potent.
Yeah.
Well, no, it gets a smell off it and brings out the human smell.
I always smell
So
Christian sweat.
We finally get to see somebody get killed by a troll, or somebody finally gets killed by a troll. I mean, I was rooting for the trolls most of the way through this film, so...
Yeah, I was hoping a few more would...
Now, maybe they didn't portray it very well, but it seemed like it was, very early morning that happened. Like, they went into the cave at night, and then when they started legging it out, there was daylight outside. They seemed like they had a new camera lady getting off the train before the end of that day.
It does seem like that, doesn't it?
Well, that again was probably because we only ever saw what they were filming. We never saw anything.
I know, but that is bad. That's bad filmmaking. I mean, there would have been some way of portraying the fact that days had passed, or they hadn't passed, in which case they're some insensitive film students.
I don't know how you...
Like, their friends died.
They never really picked up on it. They kind of looked a bit glum sometimes, but...
Even just something as simple as a frigging date counter in the bottom corner sort of thing, you can get timestamps on film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a good way to do it then.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've got an excuse for one of the characters, because he's got rabies, he's insensitive.
You see, that was the only gripe I had.
Yeah.
The only gripe I had with the entire film was that part where he started having a seizure standing up by the cabin in the troll territory.
Yeah.
And then he was fine a minute later. He was sitting in the living room watching out the window.
He'd had to lie down.
With his arm up. The arm
cures
that was,
rabies.
the arm that was all infected with rabies.
I imagine, I don't know if it was on camera, but I imagine at some point somebody will have held a damp cloth to his forehead. And he was fine.
That's the only part that really annoyed me.
Well, my favourite bit of this part of the film is when they're talking about the power lines, which are not...
Oh, that was brilliant.
They're just meant to keep the trolls in, and he's like, don't know how the trolls could have broken through. And all I thought was, maybe they could have ducked, or limboed.
Well,
Maybe
they clearly
could have
broke
crouched.
them anyway, because they walked straight through them.
All that, but I just thought the power lines, it's not like a big fence, they could have just walked under them. I'm sure a troll's capable of crawling.
Well, they can't, because they clearly walk through bridges. We've already seen this. But what
I'm
I
not saying
hate...
it fully knows when to, but I'm sure it's capable of it.
What I didn't like more than that was the whole circular line thing when they're interviewing that guy. Don't you think it's odd that the circular line powering nothing, just going around in a circle? I guess.
Well, I've never really thought of it like that.
which brings us nicely onto the moron in the power station who's high and stoned. Did you hear him talking? He just sounded like he was stoned all the way through that.
No, I didn't hear the version of your conversation because you watched the American one.
That's a good point.
Oh, yeah.
Presumably the dialogue wasn't a million miles away, though. Like when he was talking about this. So don't you think it's weird that the power lines don't go anywhere?
He just didn't seem to care in our version. He just
exactly.
Yeah.
I guess
he hadn't really taken much of.
He hadn't thought about
into
anything.
It, yeah.
Also, these guys have just walked into a power station, and he's asking, "Are you college
I've got
students?
that written down as well.
Is this your teacher?" Doesn't know who they are, and they went inside
He's
a power.
He's asking that after they've been there for about 10 minutes, asking
That
those
was.
questions.
I think that was after, do you want to hang your coats up bit?
Yeah.
And they're already inside the whole station, right next to the control room.
I've got a clip of that one for the audio clips bit that's brilliant. Completely out of context and probably because of the bad voice acting, but it's brilliant.
I'll look forward to it. I want to hear more of this American one.
After they killed the big troll, the huge troll outside in the snowy bit, the ones that didn't limbo under the power lines and everything, two cars come approaching from the distance and they all start saying, "Oh, it's Finn, he's come for the camera, run, run." Them cars were 700 yards away in the snow, in the distance. I mean, how could they tell who was in those cars? Did they recognize?
I guess it was a case of like, who else could it be in the middle of nowhere? Nobody ever comes up here, so trolls have never been seen.
Plus one.
But there's a house out there mischievously.
Yeah. Plus one of those
other...
vans was a big van, and one was a big Honda SRV sort of thing, SUV.
On the other hand, if you're going to go on the assumption that who else would be out here, what's the point in, like, you know, it's obviously going to be him. We may as well leg it. Leg it where?
Into the middle of nowhere.
To the snowy pile
obviously.
of dead trolls.
They're in big cars, like, that can probably do off-road quite well, and you're on foot. One of you's got rabies. Two of you are women.
Well,
that's thinking.
That whole scene, just slightly before that, the whole scene with the troll was quite good chasing. I did quite like that.
I liked all the scenes with the trolls, to be honest.
Yeah, the trolls were good. The trolls were
the star of this film for me.
I must admit, I was expecting them to look worse than they did, like animation. I thought they were going to look a bit like the first Godzilla, but they did look quite real. I was surprised.
Yeah, all of their budget went into making the trolls look good.
Like a guy in a suit.
A guy in a floppy.
By the way, how did the Norwegian Prime Minister come across to you guys in the non-dubbed version?
Just a bit casual.
Yeah.
Overly, just like,
it's just
trolls, yeah.
The way, yeah, exactly that, but it's like, how...
There's no organisation within this organisation.
Country.
Or even country.
No organisation within...
And the other guy just kind of goes,
anything to go by. Has anybody got anything else before we move on to the trivia section?
Well, at the end of the film, I did kind of save it, but, at the end of the film, he takes down the big, massive 200-foot troll by blasting a little laser at it very fast or whatever. And then he carries on walking, so, he got that phone call earlier. He's blatantly going to be wiping out the entire population in that region, isn't he?
Aww.
Which is quite sad, because they didn't tell you what was on that phone call, did they? Because the annoying kid, presenter guy, Rabies Kid. You've got Rabies Kid, Squeaky Girl, and Christian. So Rabies Kid picked up the phone and then passed it over.
Yeah.
I just can't help but think that he's going to be wiping out all the trolls, and it's really sad. I really like them, apart from they're ugly and smelly and
attack you.
And give you rabies.
Ruin all the bridges.
Kill all the goats. Get a lot of Russian bears killed.
Yeah. Those poor bears.
This is not Norwegian bear.
Also bits about the bear enthusiasts and like telling which paw is the left one and the right one, and they crisscross the wrong way. Are those guys? Do you remember the scene where they're looking at the footprints?
The film student guy is the one saying it though. To the Finn, the guy in charge, and I was just thinking, would you not worry that if the government organisation that wants to keep something quiet and knows about you, and then you start rubbing it in the faces, would you not worry about being like offed?
Mm.
They didn't seem too bothered to do anything.
They got offed anyway.
Threats, but also what annoyed me at the end was just the way they're trying to still keep it so serious. It's like, we never found them again, blah blah blah. So they're still very serious. Even on the kind of ending credits.
Yeah.
Well, I know I said trivia next, but I actually meant sound clips. So here's a sound clip.
Yeah, there's a bear right there.
Do that again.
Yeah, there's a bear right there.
Okay, I can see why you didn't like this film quite as much, because that acting is...
Sounds terrible.
Appalling. I'd rather read subs any day.
Terrible.
If we run into a bunch of inbred pig farmers, it's your ass first in line.
Could I sound more monotone? Yes, no, maybe.
That was the camera guy talking. Christian camera guy.
Really?
Oh my god, he didn't sound like that
it sounds
at
so
all.
different, yeah. We need to hear the Squeaky Girl if you can.
No wonder she's called Squeaky Girl. We thought she was fine.
Yeah, there's a bear right there.
That's Finn. This is camera guy.
We run into a bunch of inbred pig farmers, it's your ass first in line.
He sounds a lot more grown up there.
Yeah, he does. He sounds like a kid in ours.
He looks a bit more grown up than others, but not much.
Is the troll hunter himself.
There's a creek down there. Go down there. Take off all your clothes and wash your entire body thoroughly, you hear me? Especially your armpits and groin.
You need to watch the Norwegian version, seriously. That's really off-putting when a film has that bad a dub.
Yeah,
It's
it
just-
doesn't
you can't
sound
get into
anything
it.
like it.
I actually cut the clip before it got that far, but Squeaky Girl talks afterwards, and she's like, "No way!" It was like, "What's your version of washing your armpits and groin, you smelly cow?" Just seemed to have like a visceral reaction to it. It's like, I don't do that.
How dare you ask me to wash my armpits?
Then rub this all over yourselves.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, your viewing would have been.
No wonder
They
you
want you
think
to
it
rub
was
all over
rubbish.
yourselves.
Troll piss.
Oh.
grunting that
So,
out.
I've labelled this clip the "Who's That Moron."
Who is that? No idea. Who is that? I don't know.
He just told you he doesn't know.
Who is that?
We didn't get this at all.
Who is
It's
that?
like watching
I
a
don't
different
know.
film to us.
Yeah, it is a bit like that.
Well, but the thing is, I can't play subtitles in a podcast, and nobody listens.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
this,
obviously.
i.e. the three of us wouldn't speak Norwegian.
I didn't even think there was a dub, so the only clips I could actually think of were the Polish guys because they spoke English.
It's funny you should say that because the next two clips are Polish guys.
They were brilliant.
Hello, Finn.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Are you good?
Good.
Are you very good?
Yes.
That clip is
That
called
feels
Are
so
You Good?
disconnected.
Yeah.
Can't you just? They're really not in the same place.
I labelled that clip "Are You Good?"
Are you good?
Hello. Hello, Finn.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Are you good?
Good.
Are you very good?
Yes.
It's just like
What
he's just
the hell?
waiting. You can feel him just waiting there in front of a microphone just to say that. That it's
Yes.
just.
Yes. And this is brilliant. This is Polish Yoda.
Why problem make when you no problem have you don't want to make?
I love that. That's one bit we did get to hear, fortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this isn't so much to do with the bad acting, voice acting. This is just what he's actually saying, like the words.
That's horrible.
Seriously? Come on.
That's cruelty to animals.
It isn't cruelty to animals. He's just using them as bait.
He's just using them as bait for giant ogres that want to eat them. But it's not cruelty to
Cruelty to
animals.
animals. Perhaps he thought that innocently that the troll would just come and he'd sort the troll out before they got to the poor little goats. Whereas the goats seemed to get knocked down off the bridge before they even saw anything.
Brilliant. This clip is labelled "Duh." See if you can work out why.
I collect information
About what?
about trolls.
This is near the end of the film. They've spent the last 2 weeks or something in film times. They spent the last hour and 20 minutes with this guy chasing trolls.
Who was that who was speaking? That's the trouble. I can't.
Yeah,
About
we
what?
can't.
We
tell
don't.
who
About
it is.
trolls.
That's Raby's kid.
That's Raby's
and
kid.
Troll Hunter.
I collect information
About
He's
what?
Raby's kid. He sounds
about
really
trolls.
big, middle-aged guy kind of thing.
No, I think that's Hans.
No, the deeper voice is the Troll Hunter.
Oh, okay.
The like what is Raby's kid?
Do like what again?
Yeah. Sorry, wrong one.
What?
I collect information
About what?
about trolls.
He sounds a bit younger, yeah, but still.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
This was the one
You're
that I
tracked in the way door.
accident.
It really does sound like
What
they
the
get in a
troll
vehicle.
farting sound like. And even the subtitles were kind enough to inform me that that was a troll fart.
Oh, that's
Really?
very nice of them.
So you haven't got ears.
But this is the one that I was talking about with the electrician guy. Now, it's just taken out of context, and because he doesn't put like a what you call it a break in his sentence, he just says it all in one go. It sounds like he's talking about something completely different.
Have you experienced any problems with the power lines on Dover lately?
You could say that if you want to hang your coats here.
But if you don't want to hang your coats here, you keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, it sounds totally different in the film. In the
Have you
Norwegian.
experienced any problems with the power lines on Dover lately?
You could say that if you want to hang your coats here.
It just sounds like they're connected. It's like, you can only say that if you hang your coats here. I guess it tickled me more than
It still gets me the way they just walked into that place. And he just,
Yeah.
he's so inviting. Maybe I should try and walk into power stations.
Just ask them a lot of questions really quickly and walk in, see what happens.
in either Norwegian or really, really bad English acting.
American English, toneless.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Every dubbed film I have, they get some toneless actors, and it's like, why are those the guys getting the money to do the dubs? Well, surely there should be some good people who want to do this voice acting in America. But whatever. If not, I'm available to do terrible American accents that are better than that.
That's a good point. I can do terrible acting.
But still better than that.
Now, let's move on to trivia.
Woo!
This movie contains several references to Scandinavian folklore, like the goats on the bridge and the troll under it. Summit Entertainment bought the rights to produce an American remake of this film before it was even released. So there's that to look forward to, probably. I suppose it depends on what it does. As far as I know, the reviews on this aren't that bad. I'm guessing most of the reviews came from Norwegian people who weren't getting the horrible voice acting.
Or people who watched the Norwegian version. Because I definitely thought, it's a fairly good film on the whole, but I just couldn't stand the kids.
Yeah, I thought it was an okay film.
But yeah, I would have struggled listening to that dub, from the sounds of it.
The opening information bit where it tells you about the footage and everything, it states that the footage was received on October 13, 2008. But if you look at the form that Hans is filling out in the cafe, when he's filling out that ogre death certificate or whatever the hell it's meant to be, he puts the date down as October 9, 2009, which means that they received the footage a full year before it actually happened.
And also, I don't know if you noticed, but all the way through, they were calling the company the TSS, and on the form it said the TST, or the TTS.
Did you catch what it stood for?
No.
Oh.
I did remember, but Troll something obvious.
Troll Security Services. But I don't know what the TST
I know
or
what TSS
TTS
stood for. I just wondered if you caught what TST was meant
No.
to be.
I might look back and have a look.
Do you know, Beagry?
I have no idea. If you managed to make it to the end of the credits, and I did just so I could see this because I knew this happened after reading the trivia. There's a jump
I
scene
noticed.
with 3 Fraggle trolls.
With what?
The 3 Fraggle trolls from the cave.
What happens? I didn't see this.
It's just like a half a second where they just go bleh.
Oh, I have to go back and see that. I am really on the troll's side on this.
Credits.
I thought they were poor creatures with rabies and everything. We never got to see a good one, did we? A healthy one.
They don't need a troll hunter, they need a vet.
Yeah, should have had more of her.
I think there was a few allusions to the fact that Han, the troll hunter, might have been having more of her.
Yeah, I mean, the kids seemed to be very excited at that. Like, they'd never seen anyone with another person or something. Didn't you get that in your version?
Yes. Yes, it came across.
A bit strong, yeah. It's just... I would have liked them to have been off pretty quick, and the camera just floats like it does in every other film, conveniently showing the nice scenes. Just screw it. Screw the whole documentary style thing, and just make it a normal film.
Maybe that's what will happen in the American remake.
Maybe. If they copy just that format, then I'll be like, I just won't bother.
I wonder if in the American remake they'll get a Norwegian voiceover and the Norwegians will be watching it going, this voice acting's terrible.
Well, the population of 5 million, they've probably got worse quality voice actors than that.
I'm just at the point where it's in the cafe, where it shows that piece of paper, and it doesn't actually say what the TST stands for, but it's definitely TST.
Bit of typo then.
And yeah, I can see the date as well. I can see the date.
I mean, they've only got a 5 million budget. They can't obviously afford to get the paper right.
The blew 4.95 million on CGI trolls.
Yeah,
very good looking trolls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the tenuous link?
Indeed.
Ooh.
I'd like to see how you've done this. Yeah.
Yeah, this I was saying to Andy before the podcast that this is very tenuous. Some of these links are extremely weak. Okay. Trolls are supernatural beings whose origin can be found in Norse mythology, along with a host of household names such as Loki, Heimdall, and Odin. Odin was recently portrayed by Anthony Hopkins in the movie Thor. Anthony Hopkins is probably best known for the role of Hannibal Lecter in the movie Silence of the Lambs, based on a novel of the same name. The novel was written by Thomas Harris, an American author who was born in Jackson, Tennessee, but who now lives in South Florida. South Florida contains, among many other things, a district of Miami, which was the setting for the Too Fast, Too Furious, the second of the Fast and Furious movies. Unlike the first of the movies, Too Fast, Too Furious did not feature Vin Diesel. It did, however, star Cole Hauser, who, in a Fast and Furious mini-link, starred alongside Vin Diesel in the movie Pitch Black. Pitch Black featured a number of scenes shot in the same desert locations that were used in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, which of course starred Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson played the role of Martin Riggs in the Lethal Weapon series, the fourth of which starred Jet Li as a kick-ass negotiator, Hua Sing-Ku. Lee also starred in The Expendables, a movie that put a number of 80s action heroes on the same screen for an hour and 43 minutes of mindless violence. One of the bad guys in The Expendables was the aptly named Pain, played by professional wrestler Steve Austin. Steve Austin is one of a long line of professional wrestlers to try their hand at acting, and one such wrestler is the 80s WWF sensation Roddy Piper, who stars in next week's YAFCast movie, Hell Comes to Frogtown.
That title just gives me like the what the hell is that going to be about?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a bit worried about this one.
Some actual frog people in the trailer.
Excellent.
I'm thinking of a different film.
I haven't. Isn't there a Frogs film as well?
Or maybe I think of a different one. I remember watching a trailer somewhere where there was like people, but there were frogs. But yes, this should be interesting.
Well, this film was made a year before I was born, so I'm not expecting too much. 1988. Well, I'm not expecting too much from this film, to be honest.
I'm expecting more of more comedy crapness. Like this one, most of the comedy from this one seemed to be from the fact that the voice acting was terrible and some of the characters were a bit naff. But all in all, this could be a good film.
It sort of looks to me a bit like the first Starship Troopers. That's the sort of thing I'm expecting.
Oh, you badmouth Starship Troopers, or you're off this podcast.
The first Starship Troopers.
It.
Do you know what the first Starship Troopers was? The Starship Troopers, the American version's a copy.
Really?
Yeah, everything's a copy of everything.
What's a Japanese thing?
Troopers that most people know about. You're one of these people that argue that Hunger Games is a knockoff of Battle Royale, are you?
Yeah.
No, I mean there is actually something called Starship Troopers, the same thing.
Oh yeah, I know.
From the 80s, but okay, yeah, Hunger Games is a knockoff of Battle Royale as well, but it's not the same thing.
Battle Royale's a knockoff of Running Man.
They're similar themes. There is an actual original Starship Troopers, but I did enjoy the film as well.
Running Man might be a good film for this podcast.
What? Okay, I have seen it years ago.
So, before we start arguing about films, Hell Comes to Frogtown is next week's movie. Watch it while it's hot.
Wow.
And, if you can take one moral away from Troll Hunter, it's don't be Christian or trolls will eat you.
But being Muslim's
sure you
alright.
Smell like a troll.
Yeah, and rub troll bogies all over yourself.
Excellent.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.